Hi, Lee here, host of Nothing to Wear. Now, today we're going to talk about jewellery because we often talk about T-shirts and jackets and shoes, and that's great. But what about the little bits and pieces that pulls it all together? So you wanted to know items that won't tarnish, things you can wear forever. Is there a capsule wardrobe when it comes to jewellery? And then just fun statement pieces that you can pop on now. So joining me is Delaney Ashton. She's a lifestyle writer and a stylist, and she's going to help us talk all things jewellery.
You have to do it. You live for fashion.
Delaney, firstly, welcome to the show. It's so good to have you. We start new guests off with a few common questions. So firstly, can you describe your style in 3 words?
I can definitely try. I would say I try to be playful, dynamic, and I'm definitely like 67 aspiring.
So a bit retro.
I mean, I try to, but
Yeah.
I mean, forever aiming to
Yeah.
grow on that. So
I really like dynamic and playful because oftentimes we have people that are like versatile, comfortable, and trust me, that's
Yeah.
me. But I like it when it's like, no, I want to have fun.
yeah, I think like I really like experimenting, and I was kind of contemplating this question with like an experimental or adventurous kind of word as well, because I've definitely had some out there fashion choices in the past, but I
Yeah.
think like with trends and things coming through, I always like experimenting with newness, and I think it's really like a nice way to watch myself grow as well.
Yes,
like
agreed.
yeah,
And then you
and-
look back at the photos and you're like, wow, I wore that, but maybe I loved it.
poor me,
But
but
if it's only a poor fashion choice, then you're making some pretty good life choices if it's just fashion.
Oh, I hope so.
Now, they say that you wear 10% of your wardrobe 90% of the time. So the 10% is the stuff you grab, love, no fits. You know it fits you. You know it makes you feel good. What's in your 10%?
My 10% is definitely Rollers jeans. They do a really great East Coast flare, which honestly,
Ooh,
since I was
70s?
yeah, I like the flares, but probably since I was like 16, I've stuck with that style so much. I feel like in terms of jeans, I find it so difficult to find a pair that I actually feel confident and comfortable in at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, they just like, they know how to taper them to a woman's body, I think,
Ooh.
as well. And I've just like, I don't know, for instance, like Levi's jeans, however much I want to wear them, they just don't want to
work
fit
for
me.
you.
So
I've got a pair of
Yeah.
rollers, but they're not the flares, but I need to check out that style.
Yeah,
they are
they're
very
so
comfy and
great.
well made.
yeah, exactly. So I'd probably say one of those pairs. I have quite an array of colours.
Mhm.
And then honestly, just a t-shirt or a button-up. I
Yeah.
think like the comfortability in that, I really
I love
like.
a jeans and a tee. Are you a
Yeah.
heel or a flat shoe person?
Definitely more of a flat.
Mm.
I aspire to be like the Carrie Bradshaw running across the street, but my feet
I do
just
too
hate
for
it.
the first 45 minutes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why did I do this?
I know, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah.
We're talking jewelry today, so, you know, all the little bits and pieces that we put on at the end, or sometimes we forget, I always forget. What role does jewelry play for you in your self-expression and complementing your outfits?
I feel like it's always a finishing touch. It's always, I feel like when I think of an outfit, when I'm about to put on something to leave the house or to go to an event or something, I like to have my clothes be the base layer and then accessorize on top. I feel like
Ooh.
I like to think them as like a level up or the finishing touch. It definitely brings some like depth and intrigue to the outfit.
Agreed.
And I feel like it also can really elevate a piece of clothing. So I think depending on the event, depending on the occasion, I like to over accessorize or make it like a little bit
bit maximalist?
yeah, definitely for like a more day kind of vibe. But I think, for instance, like a random summer dress, like chuck it on during the day. But if you really lean into those accessories, especially in the jewelry kind of realm, I feel like with some nice statement pieces, you can definitely turn like a simplistic outfit into something a lot more sophisticated. which is
Agreed.
nice.
And I think because it's the last step we often forget, and because my bedroom where I keep everything is upstairs, I often get to the front door and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, no, just add on a necklace. Like today, I've chucked on a necklace with a plain white tee, and I'm like, I'm really glad I took that extra 5 minutes.
Absolutely. I feel like it gives a sense of like happiness to myself as well. I feel like with my outfit, I feel like, yeah, when you look in the mirror, I'm like, okay, I have made the little extra effort, I think,
Yes.
as well with myself, which is nice. So,
No, it's so true. Like it literally takes 2 seconds. You've just got to remember to put them
Yeah.
on. So you told me before we started recording that you love bold, chunky pieces. Talk to me about that because I feel like sometimes that can feel dated or it can also feel very cool. So how do
Yeah.
you get that right?
I think it's definitely about like having a conscious mindset around it. Sorry. A
That's your
conscious
jewelry banging on the
Yeah,
table.
it is. Yeah, chunky as well. So I think definitely being conscious about it, like when and where to pair it, I guess. So I think with bold statement pieces in particular, it can be really difficult to find space for them without them drowning the other things in your outfit out.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think experimenting, I guess, for myself, statement pieces, I really like to just chuck them on during the day. I find wearing lots of chunky, like layered kind of things like that on top of more plain outfits during the day is really fun. But then for something a little bit more sophisticated, something a little bit more evening-like, I definitely try to tone that down and either choose like the boldness to be in the clothing or in the jewelry and just leave it at that because
simple plain classic dress with a really bold earring or necklace.
Absolutely.
Or a printed dress with a delicate chain or something like that.
Yeah,
then
for
they're not fighting for attention.
Yeah, because you don't want that.
No. It's funny that you say though, because you like more is more, and I kind of do too. There's that old quote, I can't remember who said it, but you look in the mirror, I think it was Coco Chanel, and takes one thing off. And I'm like, no, I want to put more on. So do you think you need to balance the statement accessories and avoid overdoing it? Or do you just think whatever makes you happy?
I definitely think whatever makes you happy.
Mm.
But I guess also I look back at a lot of past fashion choices I've made, and I do wish sometimes that like, oh my God, if I could just tweak that one little thing.
Yes.
So I do think there is a little bit of a sense of like getting caught in the moment as well. Definitely in the mornings, getting dressed and everything. So I feel like if you give yourself, I like to give myself a little 5-minute kind of pre-warning before I leave. And like,
I found that too, because it's often the last step, and then you get out, rush out and jump on the bus or get in the car, and you're like, oh, actually, that other necklace would have been better.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Try and put it all on. Give yourself 5 minutes rushing around to get the rest of your stuff or clean your teeth, and then you're like, actually, no, I'm not vibing this.
Definitely, because I feel like the maximalism it's really fun, but it can just drown things. And, I don't like doing
Look a bit
that.
confused.
Yeah.
We asked the Nothing to Wear audience for their top jewellery questions, and we got some fantastic responses. So they want to know about capsule jewellery pieces, gemstones, reputable, local and semi-affordable brands that they can wear 24/7, swimming, beach, shower. There's a whole bunch of wonderful questions here, so we're going to dive into it.
Yep.
Capsule jewellery. Do you believe, I guess this is such a personal thing. For me, I've said, this is so personal. Is there essentials that everyone should have, or is there essentials that you really love?
I definitely have a fair few pieces that I'm obsessed with, but I think also like being in your early 20s, and I feel like you're still discovering a lot of that and what that baseline will be. So I do think there's something to say in allowing yourself a little bit of time to figure that out before you go out and just get it.
Yeah, and accumulate. Well, that's it. And because society is so based on, jewelry for milestone things like getting married, getting engaged, having a baby, big anniversaries. And oftentimes younger people haven't done all that yet. Yeah. So they shouldn't feel pressure to run out and have something that's expensive that they're going to have forever. For me, I have a couple, but for some it'll be nothing. They might want to switch it up. Or a lot of people don't like wearing jewelry. It can be a sensory thing. I love a delicate chain. I love either a bangle, like a solid, like thin, solid gold bangle, or a link bracelet. For earrings, I've always got a pair of like just little studs or huggies. Anything that's sentimental. I've got my mum's beautiful gold fob chain from the 70s.
Oh, wow.
You would love that.
It.
I wear it quite often. Every time I wear it, someone on Instagram will say, where is that from? I'm like, oh, it's my mum's. I'm sorry. But I've got a little hack here for rings. So say you were to, be passed down your grandmother's ring, or you did want to buy a sentimental ring. There's a really great app. It's called The Ring Sizer by Jason Withers. You literally download the app, you place a ring that fits you on your screen, and then you kind of pinch and it'll go, okay, you're a size L or a size G.
Oh, that's great.
Because so many times if you're shopping online, or, you might be buying a gift, you've got to get a ring off someone. But I remember my husband, when he was going to propose, he went and took something out of my jewelry box, but it was really cute, but it was a costume jewelry ring that was way too big, because he was just like, oh, that fits her. And off he went. And then I got it and it was way too big. So this app is amazing if you do want to buy, costume jewelry, statement jewelry, or something fancy for a ring. It's a really good app. Okay, so on the flip side then, that's kind of like your forever stuff. Trending right now. What's happening? What's in the stores? It's really fun. It doesn't have to be, overly expensive. But what are you seeing right now in terms of jewelry trends?
I'm seeing a lot of like geometric and asymmetricness going on. So a lot of different kinds of shapes, especially in that really bold, chunky realm. Yes. Also the asymmetrical pairs. So there's been a lot on the runway with just like different lengths and like big shapes and the ear cuffs as well.
Yeah, so like it's a set of earrings, but they're different.
Yeah, for sure. So not so much into the ear cuffs, but definitely the asymmetrical pieces are really nice. I've definitely want to try those out this summer. I think they're lots of beads and things as well, which I think would be really fun.
I'm seeing so much beading. I feel like we had really delicate sort of chains, which are still around, but then the jewelry I think I'm seeing mostly in the high street is like big chunky metal or shells or charms. Beading is back again. I've seen really cute little necklaces. If you are going to go kind of a finer necklace, and it doesn't have to be fine jewelry, but you know, even got costume jewelry that's finer. There's lots of little quirky charms like a fortune cookie or a crab, and it made me think of one I used to have. It was a very fine gold chain, and then it was just like a stick, like a gold stick that looked like a stick out of the bush. And everyone was like, "Is that a stick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's always a talking point. Anklets are back. I'm quite excited about that.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, I used to wear them a long time ago. Statement costume rings and chunky rings, chunky cuffs again. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
If you're at a computer, it can be annoying. I often put on a bunch of stuff and then I go to start type and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take that away.
They just get in the way. I'll definitely be clunking the table.
Yeah. And also I'm noticing a lot of sort of historical or astrology pendants. So something that look like, you know, might look like ancient Greek or even a coin, or those little kind of star sign astrology necklaces.
Definitely.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, especially around this time of year, I feel like people get really into the star sign things.
Yes.
I think it's a bit of an escapism kind of theme of the holidays, which is nice.
It's so true. And it's a good gift.
Absolutely.
So one of the questions we got was which metals to go for. What's the most sturdy? What's the most long-lasting? I mean, goodness me, this is a whole other world.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips here?
Well, throughout my deep dive as well, the best tip that I found was actually just rhodium plating full stop. I found, because it seems, especially when you're looking at trendy jewelry or pieces that you really want to be timeless and have at your staples, it really does seem difficult to avoid the tarnishing long term. So I feel like for me, when I get to the point where I really start building that staple jewelry set, I think the availability for plating your rhodium on your pieces sounds like the best option for me. Looking at jewelry stores, it doesn't seem too crazy dear if you are looking at pieces that will last a lifetime.
Yes.
And I think
I didn't even know you could do that. So if it does tarnish a brand, you know, do you pay extra to take it back where you got it and they'll kind of do it?
I guess that, and also a lot of jewelry stores, they're suggesting like every few years to redo the rhodium plating so that it really
like getting new tires on your car. But
exactly, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think one day.
Clever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did a little, I mean, I feel like I'm a metal expert now because I did a little rundown and I knew some of it, but some of it I learned. So I'll give you a quick little lesson for everyone. 24 karat gold is the fanciest. It's 100% pure gold, no other metals mixed in, but it's also the softest. So not that durable for day-to-day wear. 18 karat gold, I guess, is kind of the Goldilocks in between. It's gold, but then there's other parts of metal. So it's roughly 3/4 gold, but perhaps with some copper, nickel, or zinc. And it's stronger than 24 karat gold. So good for, I guess, your sentimental pieces. And it's richer in a true gold color than 9 karat gold. So 9 karat gold is sort of the most affordable, but it can look quite yellow. There's obviously less gold and more metals mixed in. It is very strong, so it's good for everyday affordability wear, but it can also tarnish. So there's always like a pro and con of each one. Then there's platinum, which is usually, it's so expensive and quite rare. 95% platinum, sometimes 100% platinum, and it might be mixed with about 5% another metal. And it looks like silver or white gold in terms of color. But jewelers don't like it. I mean, it's so expensive because gold is paid for by weight. And platinum is so heavy, so that's why it's so expensive.
Of course.
And it's so strong that it's hard to work with.
Yeah.
Then you've got white gold, which I kind of thought platinum and white gold were the same, but they're not. So white gold is 75% pure gold and then 25% palladium, which is a really rare metal, which gives it that kind of non-gold look. Then rose gold is a combination of gold and copper. And I should have known that as a rose gold girl.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either.
Me neither. And silver then, interestingly, I hadn't given much thought to except for the colour silver. But there's varying grades of silver And 100% pure silver is pretty much impossible now. I think all the royals used it for like their cutlery a million years ago. So you have to kind of check the quality. But you've heard the term sterling silver, which is often used when talking about overseas or some currencies. And that's because the like lowest grade of silver is coins, which is sterling silver. I did not know that.
Way.
Yes, interesting, huh? And silver does tarnish but can polish up really well. So just because it tarnishes doesn't mean it's not good. You just have to clean it. Nickel in jewelry is a really big topic because you often hear people say they might get dermatitis from a necklace or irritated ears. And oftentimes it's nickel, which is mixed in to make things a bit more affordable, but it can make people react, which is why you see hang on, I've run out of breath. Which is why you see brands claiming nickel free. One of the most common questions, though, was gold plated versus gold vermeil. So this is how, more affordable brands, I'm not talking like super cheap brands that are probably just spray painted, but more affordable brands that are still, really lovely, use gold, but it's not solid gold. So gold vermeil is similar to gold plating, but it's thicker. So if you want something to be more durable, less tarnishing, go for gold vermeil. Because they require, go for gold vermeil because it's required to use a thicker layer of gold than gold plated. But obviously it just comes down to, firstly, are you going to wear it 24/7 or is it just a statement piece? Are you going to swim in it? A lot of perfumes and body lotions and sunscreens will react to even good stuff. So I feel like that's a whole different world of just like metals.
Absolutely.
I didn't know all that
That's wild.
until I looked into it. All right. We've also been asked about gemstones. So there's obviously like your diamonds and stuff down to like, I guess, coloured bits. And then there's your semi-precious stones. Are you into that kind of vibe?
Definitely. I think I am a little bit of a
like a little bowerbird?
Absolutely. I'm like, where am I? I feel like all the little crystal earrings and things are really cute, and I definitely grew up in a hippie household, so
you did.
It comes hand in hand.
Yeah,
but I also really love the colored glass. I think it can be really beautiful.
Agreed.
Yeah, especially with all of like the geometric sort of shapes and things going on as well at the moment. I find the big chunky drooping
earring, like chandelier earrings and like very statement-y.
Those are beautiful, and the tiny, the really dainty chains with the little colored glass in them as well.
Me too.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a fancy stone that you say to everyone, this is a ruby or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much rubies are. I agree with you there. I think that I mean, obviously I'm married, so I have a diamond, but other than that, I'm not really going to spend big money on fancy coloured stones. I'm so happy for it to be glass or whatever. Lab grown is a really good option if you are looking for sort of a statement piece or a diamond piece. There's a pair of earrings that I've kind of asked Santa for, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's a brand called Class A Jewellery, and they do lab grown diamonds. These earrings I'm going to show you, they're called the Lunar Oval and Paired Diamond Drop Earrings. So they're very expensive, $1,500. But
Santa though.
I know Santa. Well, look, whether or not Santa gets them for me, let me show you though. And obviously, look how tiny they are.
Beautiful.
So it's like a little stud with a little teardrop. Like you could wear them every day, but that could also look beautiful going to a wedding. And obviously, if that was real diamonds, that would be over $10,000.
Absolutely.
So I think lab grown's a really good option. Tony May is a really beautiful Aussie brand. Laura Byrne, who everyone probably knows from The Bachelor, does a million jobs, one of which has this beautiful jewellery brand. I've got a few pieces from there. I think they're semi-precious. I don't care. They're affordable. They look good. And I just wanted to mention a few other brands because I feel like this here is kind of like where people are looking for not your Lovisa, which definitely has its place, and I love Lovisa. We'll talk about that later. But not your $10,000, $20,000 no one's going to buy. So Linden Cook I love. I first discovered Linden Cook at Mecca, believe it or not, because what they have in there, it's not makeup. They have a kit whereby you can take a loved one. I took my son, he was a toddler at the time, and he did an imprint of his finger, like his fingerprint on a piece of Play-Doh or whatever. They took it away and turned it into a little pendant.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Really cute, which would be a beautiful gift.
Beautiful.
Sarah and Sebastian makes really gorgeous sort of, they're still expensive, but,
it's a little bit more of that mid-range that I feel like has a little bit more of a place in everyday wardrobe rather than
Correct.
sort of an heirloom kind of piece that
Yes,
you pass on. So it is
exactly.
nice
By
for that,
Charlotte's the
for
same.
sure.
Kristen Ash is another
Yeah.
beautiful Aussie brand. Monica Vinader, I think I'm saying that right. She's not
Mhm.
Aussie, but I recently got a really fine rose gold cuff and it wasn't
Oh, gorgeous.
extremely expensive.
Yeah. Also, Christy Nicolaides does some really beautiful.
Oh, her
The coloured glass.
earrings.
I'm obsessed. Just to pop that in there.
Yes, no, I used to have a pair of her earrings. God, they were heavy, but
Yeah.
they were beautiful.
Definitely more of an evening piece.
Yeah, and
but
statement. But like you said,
absolutely.
like that could be great to go to a wedding. But like you
Yeah.
love jeans and a tee, pop
Yeah.
them on and it's like, whoa, she's so cool.
Yeah.
I
You
love
get away
it.
with wearing it to dinner.
Yeah, you do, right? I just think that middle of the road is what people are really looking for.
For sure.
There's one more brand that I discovered on the Iconic. It's called Meshka, and they have
yeah.
a lot of you've probably
Yeah, I
seen
am
it. There's a lot of
familiar.
like everything's sort of, $90, 120,
Yeah.
150 and kind of semi-precious, or again, I don't even know what they're made of, but they're not boring, but they're not too of the moment. They're
Yeah,
just a
for
bit of
sure.
personality.
Yeah.
I
like
love
those.
them.
Definitely a nice sister gift. I think.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so waterproof. People ask for 24/7 options. Obviously, like quote unquote fine jewelry, real jewelry. Yes, but then I guess you wouldn't want to wear your fancy diamond necklace
Exactly.
into the
Please don't go
ocean.
swimming in
No,
that.
exactly, exactly. So I'm assuming people want to go on their beach holiday, want to go swimming, don't have to take everything on and
Yeah.
off. What do you reckon there?
I think stick to your timeless pieces there, but maybe stick more of a mid-range and everyday. So I think for myself and maybe for others as well, it's best to have a lifetime collection and then an everyday collection, and those might be more.
Yes, and it's not always the same.
Exactly, those might be more brands like Sarah Sebastian and Kirsten Nice and things like that, which is definitely like some really nice, beautiful, dainty things and some statement pieces, but they're not necessarily something that you do upsettingly lose in the ocean.
Yeah, that
It's
you would
not
absolutely, you'd
it's
be
not your
sad.
mother's
Yes,
necklace from the 70s. That you
yeah,
can't
I
find,
agree.
so,
I agree. I think
yeah,
you have to, at the end of the day, regardless of what it costs you, but like how much does it mean to you? And then that's how
exactly.
much you're going
It's
to care
always
for it.
sentimental for me. So,
Yeah. My
sure.
niece got me into this brand a little while ago,
Yeah.
and then I've bought so much stuff for myself. It's not Aussie, but it's good. It's called Atolia. I hope
Mhm.
I'm saying that right. Waterproof jewelry that you don't have to take off. I don't know where it comes from, but it comes quickly. They have really great just sort of necklaces, bracelets, anklets, everything. And when I recently, well, a couple of months ago went away, I wore it the entire trip swimming in the ocean and
Oh,
it still
wow.
looked so good. And it was, the necklace I think was $90. So I didn't
Yeah.
care. I was like, I didn't have to take it off to put my sunscreen
Yeah.
on.
Exactly.
It's just like you've made a little bit of effort if you want to leave it on, but you don't have to make so much effort to take it on and off.
Yeah, for sure.
And believe it or not, Lavisa, if you go into Lavisa or go online, they've even got a waterproof tab.
I was going to say that.
It
It's
don't-
so good.
Isn't it? Oh, and look,
Yeah.
I've got one of their necklaces and everyone's like, oh my God, where's that from?
I was researching last night as well on the water resistant brands in that mid sort of range as well, because I definitely am in need. And this brand based in Melbourne, Zafino, I came across, who also has a water resistant line. And I feel like they're a little bit more affordable and accessible for sort of
Yes.
the everyday kind of outfits.
And you obviously don't
things like
have
that,
to wear
so-
it swimming. Like you can
No,
wear it out at
absolutely
night
not.
or to the office.
Definitely better not to, but
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, but
we
you
all have our
can.
moments, so
Yeah. When I was doing some research, I came across a brand called Ocean Wave Jewelry. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
so the name says it all. It's for swimming and in the ocean. So they've got some really good stuff. And around, that kind of, like pretty affordable,
Yeah.
but you're still going to love it and it's still cool. And one more I discovered, Camille and Stone, an Aussie brand. They do some really delicate sort of chains. They do lots of stuff and they've got beautiful necklaces, earrings, and a waterproof section. So you don't have to go out and buy a real solid gold
Yeah.
necklace to wear in the ocean.
Definitely don't trust myself. So-
Totally. And also that's just Murphy's Law. It's like my
Yeah,
good sunnies. I sit
absolutely.
on them. My cheap
Yeah.
sunnies have been going for 10 years.
Absolutely.
Layering. I love the look of layering, bracelets, rings, but I also think necklaces is a tricky one, but I love the look. So what's your vibe on that?
Sure. Again, I love it as well. I think the layering is really nice to dress up an outfit, but then also it can add sort of like a little bit of a playfulness, I think, as well in your everyday kind of section, especially like in the silver and then the mixed metals as well. I think it really just, it kind of reminds me of all of the necklaces I used to put on when I was 5.
Yes, when you were actually layering them
Exactly.
on and on and
So,
on.
Yeah. So look, I think layering is I find really fun, but I also think again time and place. I think
Mm.
also in terms of pairing, it's really important to consider where your statement actually lies, whether that's the clothing, whether that's the earrings, because, for instance, if you have a pair of statement earrings, it's probably best to sort of tone it down
Yes.
with the necklaces. So
Yeah. Let the earrings do the talking.
absolutely.
I agree with you there. I love particularly the necklaces, sort of a layering one, but I'm not patient enough and they'll always twist. So I buy, or I've got a couple of already multi-layered necklaces.
Yeah.
But if you do have some necklaces at home that you want to layer yourself, they've got these really cool little it's called a necklace separator. You can get one at Levi's. You can get them everywhere.
Great.
It's a little tiny bar with 3 claspy things and 3 circly things. And then we're going to put a link in the newsletter. And then you clip your necklaces to that so they're not all spinning around and getting stuck
That
together.
is so handy.
With layering, if you do want to buy something that's already layered, I'd probably go high street or affordable with these. So you've got like Basque does one, Mimco, although that's a bit more affordable. Zara has a bunch at the moment. H&M, Seed. Petite Moments is a really cute brand. I found that on the Iconic, and Wanderlust Co. So they're kind of they're already done for you.
That's great.
So good. And a lot of them are mixed metals, which we're going to talk about in the moment. But I've got a couple of mixed metal necklaces. So some, looking silver, some looking gold, all in the one. And I love it because if I can't decide, or I've got my gold rings on, but my handbag's got silver hardware, I just chuck on the mixed metal necklace and I'm like, see, it was intentional.
Absolutely. I feel like for a moment there, a couple of years ago, there was a real you're either a gold or a silver girl.
Yes.
And I just could never decide. So I do really like the mixed metals coming through and here to stay. So it's really fun.
Me too. I looked on Mango. They have got a really cool, it would be so good on you, like a twisted choker almost. It's like a big bangle for your neck and it's twisted gold and silver. They've got another chain. Lavisa has an even mixed metal tab on the website. Yeah. So if you do want to dabble in mixed metal, but it's not something you want to spend a lot of money on, or you're not really sure what gold or color you go for, I reckon you go for mixed metals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially either choosing really chunky things or more of the dainty, finer things. I feel like is a really nice way to just mix it all as well.
Yeah,
and it
me
tends
too.
to look okay. So
yes, agreed.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, if you didn't love it, it was just jewelry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, we were also asked, do we clean our jewelry? Do we remodel our jewelry? I have thoughts on both. One of them's a dream. What do you reckon?
The dream is remodel always.
I know.
But will I actually ever?
No.
Not for a while.
My mum's got some beautiful pieces that are beautiful to look at, but, they're pretty daggy. She's still alive, and I hope that, is the case for a long time. But and when she leaves us, I found this amazing Australian jeweler. They're called White November.
Mm-hmm.
You need to follow them on Instagram because they show the pieces before and you're like, oh, they're all lovely little pieces. And then they show what they remodeled it into, like a beautiful statement ring or signet and then you've got those memories of what those stones or that gold was, but you'll wear it.
So
that's my dream.
So my mum has a couple pieces as well. There's even just some that have snapped into place.
Yes.
I really want to keep this forever. And it's so, I guess remodeling in that sort of aspect is a really nice way.
Yeah, and just preparing.
Yeah,
it's just getting it done because you're always like, that just a clasp needs done. But then, do you take that to the watchman? I don't know where they go. Like, the shoe repair guy. I don't know how to, do all that stuff.
Those things you never do.
So it stays in the drawer.
Definitely.
But interestingly, my husband's uncle, does that make him my uncle too? He's a jeweler in Melbourne.
Oh, no way.
And so I said to him, how do I clean my jewelry? And look, this is just his advice, but he said, don't get one of those vibrating, shaky machines for your real jewelry. He said, just get hot water in a glass, little spritz of Windex, little drop of dish soap, and then just let it soak. And then you just get a soft toothbrush and kind of get in the bits and pieces. And I was like,
That's
really?
great.
I just wanted to buy one of those sonic machines that does it for me. He's like, why would you waste your money? Because I guess if it's like Windex makes sense for
the glass incense.
Yeah, exactly, but only a little bit. So I've been doing
good
that
tip.
and it kind of works.
Yeah,
Yay. All right, on to bougie and budget. I am excited.
Yay.
So we choose one sort of fancier item and then one less fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we start with your bougie?
Okay. I am going to go real bougie.
Yay!
The small droplet earrings from Bottega Veneta.
Oh.
Just timeless and forever on my bucket list, and it's going to be a while.
How much are they?
They are sitting at $1,190 for the
Okay.
small drop
Wow.
earrings.
And what are they made of? They're not even real gold, are they?
They're sterling silver.
Yeah. But still,
Shocker.
they're pretty beautiful.
They are very beautiful.
I approve of that, but there's so
Thank
many
you.
dupes, right?
Well, this is my budget comes
Well,
in.
let's throw straight
Okay.
to your budget.
No, not to be that guy, but I'm gonna Kmart.
Oh my God.
Absolutely terrible.
No, you're not. This is from Kmart.
They have.
I'm wearing a silver necklace from Kmart
Yeah.
because I'm mostly a gold girl, but I'm trying to do some silver. I think this was like $8.
It's insane. Like they
Yes.
do, and not to be like a yay rip off designer people, but
No.
come on, like
Inspired by.
absolutely. And for trying it out during the seasons and stuff like that is really fun because they have a really great range of silver and gold chunky jewelries, and then also some really nice dainty ones as well. And they do the
Agreed.
droplet.
Can
earrings
I tell
there.
you, I hadn't looked at, I mean, I was obsessed with Kmart because I've got a young child, so
Yeah.
toys, and then,
Yeah.
I'm always in there. And then I was in the beauty section recently, and I didn't even know there was jewelry aisle sort of thing. The one
A
near
ton
me,
of-
it was kind of near beauty, and then I was like, hang
Yeah.
on. And then I saw this, and it's just like,
Yeah.
obviously it's not even fake silver. It's like whatever.
It looks great.
Cute, right?
so cute.
I so support that. And
Yeah.
look, until you can afford the Bottegas, and even
Absolutely.
then you might want to spend your money on something else. So I'm all about that. All right, I'm going to start with my bougie, which
Yeah.
is pretty bougie too. Last year sometime, I did a call out on my Instagram because I did have a beautiful, very kind of sentimental bracelet that I needed
Yeah.
repairing. And I said, does anyone know where I get jewelry repaired? Because unless it wasn't from a particular jeweler, I wasn't
Yeah,
sure. It's a bit
it's kinda hard.
territorial. And I discovered this jeweler called Harlan Jones. Well, that's the
Mm.
name of his atelier. He is a male jeweler that was working in New York for a bunch of years, and now he's moved back to Australia with his
Yeah.
wife and 2 young kids. And I popped in and he repaired my bracelet for me, but I was like, oh my God, his stuff is so different, but so
Mm.
beautiful. So again, on my wish list is the yellow gold with green tourmaline and diamond necklace. It's a very delicate necklace. And then it's just got this little sort of green stone, that's the tourmaline, with a tiny diamond, and then it's got spikes. It's like a bit rock and roll.
Oh, that's so
Isn't it cool? I mean, it's $1,800, so it will remain a wish list. But I just thought, isn't it? It's
That's
like one
so
of those
nice.
delicate pieces you'll have forever, but with a twist.
Yeah, it has a little bit of statement to it.
Yeah,
can
and
you
he does
say?
a lot of men's jewelry, and he does a lot of sort of like vintage inspired in
Yeah.
terms of like not oldie worldy vintage, but like you
Yeah.
like retro and rock and
Absolutely.
roll.
Yeah.
And he's gorgeous. So if you want to check them out there in Sydney, Harlan Jones. And then my budget is a bit of a funny one, but I was inspired by our boss Mia. She had a fidget ring on a couple of months ago,
Oh.
and I was like, what is that? So I found this website. It's called Subtly Anxious. And I
Sounds
got
like
the
me.
rose gold plated sterling silver fidget ring. And it's just this, I sometimes wear it on my thumb. I don't have it on today. They have the whole website is for anxious people or I'm ADHD and
so
anxiety. So then you just want to play with something.
Yeah, for
A
sure.
lot of people pick their nails. I play
Yep.
with my hair.
Guilty.
Yes. And so I normally wear it. And then if I'm just sitting in a boring meeting or I'm stuck in traffic or, I'm just
Mm.
feeling whatever, I just kind of flip the little beads on it.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And so
it's
what? It
cute
was
as well.
$49.95.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. So Subtly Anxious. They have .com.au. They have a lot, which speaks so much to the society at the moment that we're now
Absolutely.
creating jewelry for our anxiety.
Yeah.
But that's a really nice, I think, also thoughtful gift. You could do a voucher for someone that might,
Yeah.
might be going
Such
through
a
it.
nice idea.
Otherwise, they're just cute.
They actually are really cute.
Yes. Oh my gosh, there's a whole other world out there. Now, listen, we didn't even cover accessories. We need to do belts. We need to do bag charms. We need to do scarves. So I'm going to get you back in the new year, and we're going to talk about the other little trinkets we add to our outfits.
Can't wait.
Yay.
Thanks so much for having
Thank
me.
you for joining me.
Of course.